What's going on, folks? My name is Justin Freed, and I'm joined today by former North Carolina running back and 2025 NFL draft prospect, Omarion Hampton. Omarion, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good, dude. It is an exciting time. We are literally a day out from the draft at the time of recording. Tomorrow's the day. How you feeling, man? You nervous? You excited?
Yeah, I would say I'm more excited. I feel like it's been a childhood dream. Man, I'm just excited for it, really.
Yeah, I mean, listen, before we jump into any of the draft stuff, because there's a lot to talk about and your football
Yeah.
journey. It's been awesome. Let's do the housekeeping first. You are here on today on behalf of Old Spice, so let's get that out of the
Yeah.
way. You're joining us, reminding everybody to get 24/7 lasting freshness with Old Spice swagger, deodorant, and body wash. Visit oldspice.com to find where to get swagger at a store near you and to learn about the School of Swagger mentorship program. You want to add anything to that? Is anything you want to talk about your partnership with Old Spice?
I mean, yeah, you pretty much covered it. I mean, it's just they got me here today. I'm proud to partnership with them with the Old Spice on their School of Swagger program, which it kind of aims for potential mentors for young people. And then I feel like you said, you can visit their website, oldspice.com/school of swagger to learn like how to be a better mentor. So that's really it.
Cool. Let's get into your football journey a little bit. Before we talk about the NFL draft stuff, you were a very highly recruited player coming out of high school. Of course, record setter at Cleveland High, North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year. You had a ton of offers, including, I believe, Duke was your first offer. Of course,
Yeah.
you didn't go to Duke nor any other schools, Florida, Auburn, Ohio State. What was it that convinced you to be a Tar Heel?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one is like 50 minutes from my hometown, and I feel like I was always up there. I was getting to know the players, I got to know the coaches, I got to trust them. I feel like one of the main things is their offense at the time. It fit like the running style I was looking for. Man, I feel like that was one of the main things that got me over there.
And I was looking up some stuff before this, and I saw you broke your ankle as a junior in high school. And after
Mm.
that happened, you got a phone call from then UNC head coach Mack Brown while you were still in the hospital. Talk
Yeah,
about that phone call a little bit and how much his support might have influenced your decision to choose North Carolina.
yeah. It was definitely because it was something new for us. So like when I broke it, I didn't know like what to expect. Like for like my offers to go away or anything like that. So it was just a lot to take under. So I feel like when I was in the hospital, he was just one of the first people who called me and said, even if my ankle never healed, I'll always have a full scholarship to UNC. So I feel like that was kind of special for me as well.
And that's awesome. Then you went to go and spend 3 years with him at UNC and put
Yeah,
together a hell of a career. So I'm going to ask you a lot of the standard stuff in a sec. Questions I'm sure you've gotten a lot over the last few months.
mm.
What's it like? What was it like playing with Drake Maye? Talk about Bill Belichick. And
Yeah,
listen, it's my job, so I will ask you those. But before we do that, I want to give you an opportunity to shout out anyone you don't normally get to talk about because
mm.
listen, man, your life's about to change in the next 24 hours, and I want to help
Mm.
celebrate the people who helped get you here. So, it could be
Yeah,
former coaches, family members, friends, trainers, whoever. I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but
yeah.
floor is who do you want to shout out?
I really just want to shout out my family. I feel like I'm a big family guy. My mom and dad always been supportive of me. My brother as well. I can always reach out to him when I ever need anything. My coach at UNC, Coach Porter, he was always on me, just all the time, helping me stay consistent. I feel like just those people are some of the people who.
Yeah, I mean it's great, man. And so listen, now that I've asked that part, let's
Mm,
talk about Drake May really quick.
mm.
He's someone you obviously got to know very well at UNC. What do you make of his rookie year at the Patriots? How cool is it to see him thriving at the NFL level?
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing just to him just learning so much from him being there from my freshman year to my sophomore year. I feel like I just learned a lot from him. He was always down to like watch film and stuff like that and help me out. And then just to see him succeed in the league is just truly amazing. Just him going out there and getting playing time early, just doing what he does. Really, like it's just amazing.
Listen, I'm a Jets fan, so I can't say too many good things, but I will say that I wish him all the best. Maybe a little less of the best, but I wish him
Yeah,
well.
yeah, most definitely.
You were on NFL Network with Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero last week, and they asked you about Bill Belichick. So now I'm going to ask you about Bill Belichick. What was your first reaction when you first heard that Belichick was coming to Chapel Hill?
Yeah, I mean that's obviously something crazy. I feel like it's definitely gonna be good for the program. I feel like when you got a coach like that that's did it before, that knows what he's talking about, like he's been in the NFL, so I mean for how many years? Like a long time. So like just having them there and them learning from him is just amazing feeling.
Too long, if you ask me. That's how long. Too long.
Yeah.
Tormented the Jets for too long. Uh, I know they asked you, on that show, he tried to convince you to stay. Of course, your mind was already made up. You were going pro, but even outside
Mhm.
of that, what have your conversations been like with Coach Belichick? How much have you guys talked?
Yeah, we talked a little bit just about just I've been seeing him around. We haven't had like a deep conversation or anything, but like I see him around at practice all the time. Walking, we just catch up a little bit. Nothing serious. So yeah, I mean he's super cool. Yeah.
He seems like a very interesting dude in the best way possible.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of nicknames thrown out there for you. I've seen Hammer. I've seen Big O. Do you have a personal favorite nickname?
No, I don't got a personal favorite. I feel like a lot of people call it different things. It kind of just depends, really.
Any other nicknames that I don't know?
um, nah. Most people call me Big O, something like that.
Listen, maybe you'll get a new one after you're drafted. Like
Yeah.
Denver Demon, Bear Force One, something like that. I could. Uh,
Yeah.
speaking of NFL teams, you've obviously met with probably most teams in the lead up to the draft.
Mhm.
We both know some of the teams that have at least been rumored to have interest. And look, it's the day before the draft. I'm not going to ask you about specific teams because you can't
Mhm.
you can't tell me that stuff. I know you can't tell me that, but I do want to know. What are some of the weirdest questions that you've gotten throughout the draft process? You don't have to name teams, obviously.
Mhm.
Are there any weird questions that stick out?
Yeah, I've heard like a lot of people got like a bunch of weird questions, and just yeah, I definitely heard some crazy questions that people have gotten, but I haven't even got no like off the wall crazy questions. Just like the only thing I got was like certain stuff that they would just ask me that didn't have nothing to do with football. It would just be like something just I don't know. But I haven't got no like off the wall crazy questions.
I've heard stuff where it's like, if you were an animal, like what animal would you be? And I'm like, this is
Yeah, yeah,
they're
stuff
asking
like
this, right? They're asking
that.
this at the combine, like what?
Yeah, yeah, definitely stuff like that.
All right, man. I'm gonna hit you with a few quick hitter questions before we wrap up. Some, a little get to know you stuff, some fun
Okay.
stuff about off field interests. So first, when you're not playing football, what are some of your favorite hobbies?
I'll say I go play basketball up at the rec center at Carolina with me and my teammates. We always go up there playing basketball and stuff. I feel like that's one of the main things I do.
Who's your I love asking this for people, 'cause
Mm,
I feel like a lot of football players also play basketball growing up.
yeah.
Everyone will ask you probably who your NFL comp is, right? And I've heard you said like Joe Mixon and stuff, and
Mm,
I'm not as interested about that. I want to know who's your NBA comp.
mm, LeBron,
It's tough. You said LeBron. You said LeBron.
right?
Oh man, I love it. That's confidence right there. I love it. I was gonna say it's tough because you're like what 6 foot 220. That's a weird build for the NBA. You don't really see a lot of basketball players with that build. Maybe like a shorter LeBron. That's fair.
Yeah, that's sort of LeBron. We can do that.
See,
I'll say that.
I'm a Knicks fan, so I was thinking, you're a little bit bigger than him, a little more built, but Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson, a little thicker.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson. You got a favorite NBA team? Because I know you're from North Carolina. Maybe I don't know if the Hornets are your team, but
No, I don't have a favorite one. I watched the Celtics a lot.
all right, fair enough. Fair enough. They're probably gonna beat my Knicks in the second round, but that's all right. You got a favorite NFL team either that you watch? Maybe not as much now,
Mm.
but like growing up that you watched.
Uh, growing up, I was a Ravens fan,
Okay,
but yeah,
all
that
right.
was
I mean,
like when I was a kid, though.
they've had some great running backs over the years. They got a hell of a running back right now, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do.
All right, last one. What is this is always probably my favorite question to ask
Mm,
anyone. What is your go-to karaoke song?
go to karaoke song. Mm, that's a, that's a
It's
good
not.
question.
Are you a karaoke guy?
Uh, no, I don't really be doing karaoke.
If not karaoke, what's just, some of your favorite songs? What music you listen to?
I'll listen to maybe somebody like Kodak
Okay.
Black,
Okay. Fair enough.
Lil
You're
Baby
you're
or something
big
like that.
you're a big like hip hop guy?
Yeah, I actually listen to a lot of different music. I'm not just a hip hop guy, but I would say majority I listen to hip hop.
See, I was expecting some Omarion. I was expecting some old school 90s R&B Omarion. Are you named after him, by the way?
No, I don't think I'm named after him. I know my mom, she used to listen to him, but maybe I might be. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
All right. I mean, it's a hell of a name. That's the only Omarion that I heard of. So I was like, oh man, I gotta ask. Maybe there's a connection there. I don't know. Maybe he's an
Yeah.
uncle. All right, man. Listen, Omarion, I really appreciate you taking the time, dude. I want to wish you the best of luck with the draft tomorrow. You got a busy
Mhm.
24 hours coming up. Try to enjoy it as much as you can. Spend time with your family, all that stuff, dude. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me on.